Hello, this is Lakota Ravoc, your host, and today we're playing some more TIMBERBORN. In last session, we finished this marvel of engineering, our power generator. And what we're going to do today is we're going to extend on that, build up this little section here. That way we can put down all of our powered buildings. And then we're going to do some quality of life. That means we're going to get our aquatic farmhouse down. We're going to clear this out and get ourselves some oak trees over here. And then we're going to put some observatories up here so we can generate science faster, as well as some other quality of life features to keep our beavers healthy, happy, and working more productively. So why don't we get started? First things first, let's unpause all of these inventor huts. I've already laid down a couple of lumberjack flags up here, so these beavers will start clearing this area out. We need to get about 1,000 science so we can unlock these observatories. For the meantime, we're going to prep up some power. I demolished the builder's hut up here because we no longer need it. So now we have some free beavers to do some extra work. What we need to do is run power all the way across here and up. And that's a simple enough task. We're going to unlock these power shafts. What? They're very cheap, but they allow us vertical power. I'm just going to prioritize each one as they build it so that way they build them in an order. Otherwise, we get some trapped beavers. Just because we're out of storage space, we have so many logs, I'm going to add an additional large pile up here. And because we have a large stockpile, I'm going to get rid of this secondary lumber mill right here. Since we have both storage containers filled, I'm going to make another one. Apparently, they had a lot of logs to put in. And like always, get rid of all the stumps and leftovers. I have 3 full piles. That's a lot of logs. Unfortunately, we ran out of gear, so I'm going to have to build a gear workshop. I'm just going to temporarily put one here, one of those power wheels, and give them both a high priority for workplace. That way we can get some more gears on the go. Now remember, all that's going to get moved over here once I can get this 6x1 overhang unlocked. Unfortunately, it's going to take 3,000 science, and I'm currently just over 800. But with these 5 inventor huts going, we'll be able to unlock that observatory. And eventually, my plans up here is to take this large area of space and make it an entertainment area. So the agora, the carousel, the dance hall, some mud pits, and eventually the fountain of joy, which you need water for, will go right in that little center spot. And then our end game, the earth recultivator, still have to decide where that's going to go, but a good chance it'll probably be up here. Right, been just about done with this power shaft system. Just have 1 gear to go in there, and then 2 logs, 2 planks, and a gear to finish it up. And we just hit the 1,000 science we need. Let's unlock that observatory, and we're going to put those guys right up here. We're actually going to drop 2.
Oh my!
I'm going to make a slight change to this. Get rid of this power shaft. We're going to drop that we're going to drop that double platform there and put our observatories right here, right at the edge. They'll connect to that shaft and be able to get power and share it together. Each one of these needs 200 power plus to maximize the results, 4 beavers each. So we're going to pause one of these houses and get some more babies. This is going to add 9 extra beavers to our total, and they are already quickly working on this. Thankfully, we had the gears going. The only downfall is we need pine resin. Now, to make pine resin, we actually have to collect it from the pines here. So we're going to unselect those, and while we're at it, unselect the rest of the producing trees. Only the oaks and the birch here give us actual wood. Next, we're going to destroy this water pump here, because my initial intention was to put a tapper shack there. I need 500 science to unlock that tapper shack and place that in that spot. But that water pump wasn't being used, so there was no point in having it there. We let these pines grow. Once we get the 500 science we need, we'll be able to put that tapper shack in place. Now we're going to give this observatory a lower workplace priority. We want it to function, and we want it to function well, but we don't need them to be constantly manned. Main reason is there are other things that are a little more important. And once we get these observatories working, we're going to get rid of the inventor huts. They won't be needed anymore. 1 inventor hut does 1 point of science every hour. A fully manned observatory does 10 points of science every hour. Now, the funny thing is, you don't technically have to have them fully manned to get the 10 points of science. You just have to have all 4 available slots open. Even if it was being manned by 1 beaver, you'll still get the 10 points of science. A little exploit. Now, once we're done clearing this out, we're going to move some lumberjacks down here. So let's get a pathway to this area. And it looks like we got our first drought approaching of cycle 18. Not too concerned. I'm going to drop a bridge right here. Send a path to this area. And I'm going to drop a forester hut. I'd say right about there's pretty good. Unfortunately, we won't be utilizing the lower area because we are going to dam up the end of this so that the water pools up in this area. We need that water pooled up over here to make this all green. This gives us a nice little spot. Have 2 lumberjacks, and they'll be able to reach everything pretty nicely. We're going to pause these for now because we don't need them. We just want them in place. And we're going to mark all these trees cutting and drop our paths like we always do, just to clear out the junk. We're going to lay out an overhang over here, and then we're going to put a second one on top of it, put some stairs up, and use this as a makeshift bridge so we can start building a dam. Now we need it to be too high. We don't need to be anything special, so we're just going to drop it like this. Actually, let's delete these because we don't actually need this. We just need a pathway. All right, we're up to 630 science, so we can unlock that tapper shack. Let's unlock that now and place it right here. And we're going to have it focus on pine resin to start. The other thing we'll need here is a gatherer flag that focuses only on chestnuts. Eventually, we'll be able to make grilled chestnuts here. Once we can get all the resources into this tapper shack, which should hopefully not take too long, we'll be able to start getting our pine resin, which we can then put towards the observatories, which then can start making us more science, which, as we can see, snowballs down. So our biggest obstacle is getting gears right now. But once we can get these platforms built and extended out and build our industrial center, we can then utilize all this power we're generating from these water wheels, never have to worry about gears and anything else again. And since they have the time, they're already building this dam. Now, one of the other things we need to do while we're playing today is clearing out the rest of these ruins and stockpiling some metal blocks. Once these ruins are out of the way, we can form a large reservoir over here and keep this area nice and green. And once we get some dynamite, we can clear this out, make a much larger reservoir of water, and we can start placing some large water pumps in this area. I know it looks a little janky, but I've just built a second power wheel to get the gear factory a little more power because it's running under power, so it's not getting us enough gears. And once again, this will all go away once we build our industrial center. All right, we got the pine resin in. All you need now are some gears. We got 9 gears we need left for the first observatory, and we need 30 gears for the second observatory. And once we get one going, that'll be a world of difference for us. Now I know what these look like. You can make your comments down below. Now I'm going to take this time to thank you for coming down to watch. If you could please subscribe, drop a like, and leave me a comment, I'd really appreciate it. It would help me, and it just might help you with a little bit of entertainment. All right, looks like that second power wheel definitely made a bit of difference. We're getting almost 100% power to this gear workshop, allowing them to make gears a lot faster. We only have 4 more gears left on this observatory, so that should be done really soon. Since we can, let's do a quick overview. We've got a lot of materials, doing well with our scrap metal, our planks, pine resin. We've got chestnuts and maple syrup. We've got plenty of food. We've got a lot of water, and we're doing well on our logs. And we got our first observatory built. Now we just need to connect it up with a path and get some workers in there. All right, we got it stabbed with 4 workers ready to go. That means we're going to start getting our science a lot faster. So we went from making 5 science an hour to making 10 science an hour. And with this one, we'll be making 20 science an hour. We're going to go ahead and get rid of all these inventor huts now. We do not need them anymore, and those beavers can be used for other things. What we might do is put that builder's hut back and just put it right here. Or we can utilize this space for bakeries. Another thing I want to do is unlock this underground pile and start putting these warehouses in a closer location to the manufacturing area, which will probably be up here. I'm going to go ahead and unlock that now. And we're going to start building these. First and foremost, we're going to have to redo our path structure up here. So utilizing the new overhang system with some bridges, I made a pathway that hangs over, allowing us to access this whole area, giving us underground warehouses for logs, planks, metal blocks, and eventually treated lumber. We're going to take these large piles and start hitting the empty section on them so that they empty all these large piles into the new underground warehouse, allowing us a lot more storage. And we've got a bad tide approaching on the last day of cycle 19. So in a couple days, we're going to have to make sure to drop this triple floodgate and get rid of that bad water. And our ruins are almost gone, so we'll be able to set up our new reservoir over here very shortly. We'll just lay it out, but we won't actually start building it until much later. And we've got a beaver cutting down the trees over here, getting ready. But as you can see, our dam is up, and we have a large reservoir of water down here, making the whole area nice and green. And our second observatory is built. The bad tide has just started. Let's drop these triple floodgates. Get that bad water out of here. We've got 5 days of that bad water. We should be fine. We also have both observatories working now, so we're getting 20 science an hour. It's a 16-hour workday. That's 320 science a day. And we're already at 2,400 science. Within a couple of days, we should have enough to get the 6x1 overhang and start building the industrial center. And they're making quick work of these underground piles. We should be able to start storing stuff in these piles very, very shortly. And just like that, we got enough science. We're going to start laying out the foundations for this new industrial center. Sit back, relax, enjoy the music, and watch me start building. So far, I've got 2 lumber mills, 2 paper mills, 1 that won't be used right away, a gear workshop, a smelter, and explosives factory. I need a little more science to unlock the printing press and the wood workshop. When I do the wood workshop, I'll put another lumber mill right at the end. So that way I have a lumber mill for regular planks, a lumber mill for the gears, and a lumber mill for the treated planks. And with our new oak forest that's going to be going in, that's going to get us a lot of logs. So I might need to build another storage area over here for gears and pine pitch and other resources that will get stored that aren't going to go into the large piles. As you can see, they've already started construction on the platforms that we need. So it shouldn't take too long to get this built. And once that industrial center is built, we'll be destroying all these other factories that we have up so we don't waste the resources. Now, another idea I had, which we'll probably do later, is extending this power network out along this edge, making this bad water, instead of coming out at this point on the map, to going down along the edge of the map and coming out farther down, and then extending more power wheels this way connected to our network so we get more power generated. There's our first underground pile built. They're now dumping all the logs that we have stored in those 3 containers into this one area. So we're going to start getting rid of these large piles over here. And what we might do over here, where these berry bushes are, is drop another forester hut and make just berries and dandelions. One last thing I want to do is get rid of these small water tanks and start putting some medium tanks down. They do cost gears to build, but they're kind of a necessity. Now we're back up to over 1,300 science. We're going to start unlocking some other things. So we're going to unlock our printing press, place it down. We're going to pause it because we don't need it right now. And we're going to unlock our wood workshop and also place that down. We're also going to pause that one because we don't need that. And then I'm going to drop that last lumber mill down right there. And we'll pause it as well. Those structures we don't need right now. We eventually will need the treated planks for other things, but I'm not as concerned about them right now. We'll use them for later game stuff down the road. One thing I do want to unlock right now is that aquatic farmhouse because we need spatterdock and cattail roots. We need to start improving the quality of life of our beavers. That means improving the food that they're getting. Let's go ahead and unlock that. One thing we need to do is destroy this path down here. We're not going to need this smelter anymore once this upper area gets built. So this will become redundant. They do have a secondary path over here. So they don't need this path to get over here right now. Something we need to do to centralize this aquatic farmhouse between these two areas is build a platform system that allows it to get to both sides. Easily achieved using the new platform system, minimizing the impact we have so we can maximize the space used. Let's go ahead and lay down our cattails and our spatterdock. Giving us more than enough room for these aquatic plants. We'll be able to make a large crop very easily. Let's go ahead and get this forester constructed. And this extra lumberjack flag. And let's get this area prepared for some oaks. So what we might have to do also is build a staircase system down to give them a shorter route to this forester hut. Currently, they're running a very long path. Gonna be some tired beavers.
That's what she said.
All right, we got that connected up. This way they'll have a shorter path from the city center to get down to this area, maximizing their time and hopefully giving them a little relaxation between shifts. I'm going to unlock these large warehouses now, and we're going to put these right here. And we're going to build a little tower to store our resources. This first one's going to be gears. This next one will be pine resin. And let's make this one explosives. And then as we need other things like paper, we'll make it taller. I realize it's a lot of storage space, but in the off time, as they're building new components, it just makes things easier. And we just got another bad tide approaching, so we got 3 more days. And our next playthrough, when we get a drought, we're going to rebuild this system to have sluice gates. That way we can automate it. And just like that, we have a staircase up to our tower. This way they can store resources and supplies. All right, there's the start of our bad tide. Let's drop our gate. And I'm going to go ahead and put 2 more grills in over here. One for chestnuts and one for the spatterdock. And get that quality of life up. And while we're here, let's go ahead and build that builder's hut right next door. I'm going to put that on a workplace of a lower priority because we don't need it as readily right now. This large pile is empty, so we're going to go ahead and destroy that. Now, the one thing we are going to have to do, though, is we're going to have to build this up to start storing the new food. We'll get working on that a little bit later. And it looks like they finally cleared out those ruins, so we're going to destroy these 2 buildings, clear this out, and let's start designing our reservoir. Again, not something I need them to build right away, so we're pausing some of the closer locations. And there it is, our new reservoir. The only thing we'll have to do is change up this wall to have some sluice gates. That way it'll draw fresh water in, and it'll shut off when the bad tide comes. So we'll design all that out on the next playthrough. But for now, that gives us the area space we need, and it's going to make everything nice and green, so we don't have to worry about water in that area for a long time. They're almost done with this staircase down. That'll allow us to get to our forester hut. Once that's built, they'll finish clearing out all this area of all the trees, and we'll be able to start planting. I think aside from having to destroy some manufacturing buildings and keeping an eye on our bad tides, we can just let this run. So sit back, relax, enjoy this music I found for you, and we'll see you in a little while. And there we have it. We've got our aquatic farmhouse built, and they've already got everything planted. So we've got plenty of cattails and spatterdock. We've got the start of our industrial center, including 3 lumber mills, gear workshop, paper mill, a smelter, dynamite factory, a printing press, and a wood workshop. So this gets a lot of our basic supply needs met. So I'm probably going to extend this out later. Might move the paper mill and add some extra things like the centrifuge and the grist mills, which will grind down cattails and wheat into flour for our bakeries. In the process of doing all this, I did a couple of other things. I added a 3rd log pumper because water was going a lot faster due to the fact that I unlocked all 6 houses. So now I have 54 beavers and the entire colony is housed. So I have a lot of beavers working and helping out the colony. Because we're not cutting down these trees, I removed the oaks and the birch and moved over some of the trees. So I moved some of the maples, planted them over here on the left, and then planted some more chestnut trees in their spot. I got rid of the forester hut. I put one up here temporarily, up on this little cliff, so that I could fill that spot with a couple more chestnut trees, and then got rid of it. Since we're not cutting down trees, we don't have to replace them. That means we don't need a forester hut anymore. So these trees will stay here and they will sustain supplies. Right here next to the gatherer flag, I used to have a teeth grindstone, and I got rid of that because they're not cutting trees there anymore. So I put 2 new teeth grindstones over here nearby the oaks. That way our new lumberjacks don't have to go very far in order to sharpen their teeth if they ever get broken. The forester hut over here got built and all the oaks got put in place. The one thing I did forget to do was set up tree cuttings for these areas here. So we're just going to do that now. And because we have such a large forest of oak, they can cut down these trees and they can get replanted and grow with plenty of time. So as they're cutting, the trees get replanted and those trees will grow up just in time as they cut down some of the farther out trees. So we'll have a continual cycle of growth and removal. I also added these 2 scavenger flags over here because we ran out of scrap metal, so I needed to get some more. I have one more spot that I can actually gather way over here by the oaks. So we'll probably extend an area out over here, and eventually we'll unlock this spot. It takes a lot of science and a lot of materials, but this is a gathering pit for metal, and it will significantly increase the amount of scrap metal that we get. Downfall is the distance that they're going to have to travel to deliver it. So we'll probably have to put another carrier's hut that they can transport the metal from here back to our industrial area. And also, as you can see, I removed that other paper mill. I forgot they stopped using paper for dynamite. So our dynamite's not being processed right now until we actually get some bad water. And we need to start collecting bad water using a bad water pump for the dynamite. So the dynamite isn't being produced right now. And as you saw, I was also changing the layout here because I realized I wasn't going to get any power to the paper mill. So I readjusted this so the power came out and around this open section, and now everything's fully powered. So we accomplished what we set out to do today. We built our industrial center. We got some quality of life up and going. Next time, we're going to improve some more quality of life features. We're going to add some extra storage, and we're going to improve our channel dam, giving it sluice gates and a large reservoir of water to help keep the area nice and green. The other thing we'll probably do is design out that extra length for the power area so we can get that bad water flowing longer and give us more power, because we have a lot of things we're going to need to power up. We might also design the second half of our industrial area. That way we can get other things like the centrifuge and the grist mills up and running, because we're going to need to get those going to improve our quality of life. And the last thing will be getting that bad water pump up there where the bad water is coming out. That way we can start making some dynamite. But I'm fully satisfied. Thank you for joining me today. Please make sure you subscribe, drop a like, and leave me a comment. Thank you for watching. And these names you see scrolling on your screen, these are my friends and followers on Discord who come and watch me on a regular basis. So if you want to get your name on there, come on and join me on Discord. Or you can also subscribe to me on Patreon. And that's going to do it. Thank you again for watching. Y'all have a good day. Bye-bye. You're welcome, buddy.